Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Montana. If you didn't already know, I am an exchange student currently studying abroad in Germany. I make a lot of videos where I talk about German culture and the differences that I noticed between living here in Germany and in the US. Today, as you already know from the title and from the thumbnail, I'm talking about 9 different things that I find annoying or things that I dislike about German school. The purpose of this video is not to be negative and bashing on German school or German Gymnasium because I go to a Gymnasium. It is just certain things that I dislike. Also, I'm just gonna say it up front, I only know about my school in Richmond, Virginia and my Gymnasium in Passau, Germany. So if things are different in your schools, then feel free to comment this down below, but just know that I'm only speaking from my perspective. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get into the video. The first thing that I find really annoying about German school is that none of the students have Google Drive and none of them know how to use Google Drive. So basically everyone in the US, in my county, we use Google Drive, and it's like an online software through Google where you can work on presentations, like Word docs. It's basically Google's version of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and the thing that makes it so much easier and better is that you can work on it with other people at the same time, and you can just share your same document so everyone can work collaboratively. I find that so much easier because as of now, whenever we do things in my school, we've been using this one website, I'm not even sure what it's called, to try to work collaboratively, but it's just such a mess and it's not well organized, and I sometimes really wish that we could just use Google Drive, but all of my friends, they don't have an account, and it's just not a tool that's really used in German high school here. And then the second thing that kind of has to do with that is because Google Drive isn't a main tool that's used, everybody has to have USB sticks, and like, I understand that it's nice to have a USB stick because then you know that your information is like always with you on this stick in case something goes wrong with internet or something, but having to make sure that you have a USB stick is just one less thing that I didn't have to deal with in the US. Also, I was saying before, whenever we work on this in the computer lab collaboratively, we're doing it individually and then like saving it on to each person's USB stick, and then when you come back you have to re-insert your USB stick and then re-upload that file to the website, and so it's just kind of a mess, and I don't think people realize how much easier it would be just to use Google Drive and share all one document. The third thing that I have is that Wi-Fi in Germany in my school is very spotty and it doesn't really work. I understand though, because first off, you shouldn't really be using your phone anyway in school, and also there's just not as big of a need for Wi-Fi in school because each individual student doesn't have a computer. In comparison to the US, a lot of schools are now digitalizing their curriculums and making sure that every student has an iPad or a computer or something like that. I'm not going to get into the debate between whether or not the digitalization is actually a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that not having Wi-Fi in school is sometimes a problem. For example, I was trying to do a presentation, a referat, and I had used Google PowerPoint, which my teacher was already like, why'd you do that? Because now you have to log into your account. And on top of that, it didn't work because the Wi-Fi was cutting out. So the fourth thing that I have, and the main reason why I thought of this video, is because in Germany, when there's snow on the ground, you still have to go to school. And I woke up this morning and I looked outside and I saw all this snow. It's at least 3+ inches, so like 1, 2, 3, like that much. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe there's no school, because in Virginia, if we have any amount of snow on the ground, like this much snow, then they cancel school and they call off the buses because they're afraid the buses can't run, and you hang out with your friends sometimes if they can make it to your house, and you go sledding and you enjoy your snow day. But here, my host mom was like, why wouldn't you have school? And I'm like trudging through the snow in my tennis shoes to get to the bus stop. I don't know, it was just kind of a big culture shock, honestly, this morning, waking up and being so excited for a snow day only to have to go to school. I have like a little footage of that from this morning, like really early. I might insert that here. There's just so much snow on the ground. I'm like, why do we have to have school? Maybe the bus is running. Trust me, I was upset. And then, like, with that, my bus just didn't come. I guess they called it off because of the snow, but I didn't know that. The only reason I knew that was because there was another kid who's in like 8th grade and he waits at the bus stop with me. And after a while, we were just like, bus isn't here. I guess we should walk half a mile to the main bus station and catch a different bus to school. So that was another thing, like, they didn't call off school, but then the bus didn't come and school was empty. I mean, so many people just didn't come to school or came to school late because of bus problems and transportation issues. So the whole first period, there were like 5 kids. And if that's the case, why wouldn't they just call off school? I don't know. My 5th point that I have is that in class, I feel like we're always so inactive. We're just sitting and taking notes. And I honestly like that lecture setting. And I like, my hair is just kind of messed up, sorry. I like the lecture setting and how teachers have presentations or they talk and then you like just take notes, because I feel like it's a really good way to learn the information. However, in the US, we are constantly used to getting up and moving or doing group work or making presentations online, doing interactive website program things, or I know in biology we're constantly doing labs, so we're not just sitting the whole time. And that's one thing that I have found kind of annoying in school, is that just constantly sitting in my one chair for the whole lesson plan, it makes me super tired and I feel like I can't focus for that long. I know the block is only 45 minutes compared to a US school block is about 1 hour and 30 minutes, but I just feel like we're just always sitting, and involving something a little more active, or at least just like standing up at some point in the class would be nice. My next thing, I'm sorry these are just all like complaints, but I feel like they are interesting points to hear. And before everyone hates on me too much in the comment section, I can also make a video that is aspects of German school that I really, really love and enjoy. With that being said, my next complaint is that tests are really hard here for exchange students and for non-German students. Even for German students. Okay, in general, I'm rephrasing that. Tests here are so hard to get a good grade in. In my gymnasium, at least, it's so hard to get a good grade because it's just writing. And I've said this in other videos, but for someone like me who hasn't learned German for that long, I could know the material so well and still get such a bad grade because I can't formulate my answers perfectly in paragraph essay form. So I do think it would be nice if the tests involved some aspects that weren't just writing and were more like factual, upfront questions. And then also, a lot of the grades are just your teacher's opinion, which was a big shock to me. That's not necessarily something that's annoying, but I was just really shocked to find that out. For example, there's a whole Mündlich or speaking grade, and it's basically how much you participate in class, how much you raise your hand, you answer questions, and it's just like your teacher's opinion. If they like you or if they don't, they could give you a high grade or a low grade. In the US, the way grades work are varied by numbers, and it's if you get the question right or wrong. If so, you get this many points. It was just weird to get here and to realize that a lot of the grades are what your teacher says and you just have to go by it. I know that if that was the case in the US, students would definitely be like refuting those grades and constantly asking the teacher, why'd you take off points? What did I do wrong? And they'd get their parents involved, and that is just so complicated and messy. And that's also just very annoying when you think about American students, but I definitely would see that being the case. So for American viewers, if I didn't clarify that enough, they'll have 1 note per quarter per semester, which is just the teacher's idea of how much you've participated in class, and sometimes they'll have activities where you're on the spot, you have to like present something or answer something, and they'll also give you a grade for that, and there's no rubric or anything. It's really just how the teacher assesses what you've presented. I have 2 more things. So, and this is just a very me thing that like triggers me in class, and that makes me really like and that is that the teachers write their notes and then they put it, they're either writing up on the chalkboard or they're putting it under that camera, Elmo I think they call it, I don't know what they call it, like looks like this and it's like the camera and you put your paper under it. And when they write, I can't read their handwriting, and then they like move so fast and I don't know what their handwriting says because I also don't know the words in German. And so if I had the context of it being in English, I could probably figure out what they're writing, but because it's in German, I just have no clue what the words say or how to spell it right. So I'll just like try to copy it down exactly like they wrote it, or I'll look at a friend's sheet. But then I always feel bad for my friends because they have to like move their sheet over and they know that I'm constantly watching them take notes. My last thing, final thing for this video, is that I really miss the school spirit and hypeness of being in an American high school, and that's just not present in Germany, and I really, really wish it was. There's no school mascot, there's no school colors, there's no sports teams, and so people don't really take pride in their own school. I feel like people do take pride in their city or their village where they live, but not in the school itself. And that is something that's really unfortunate because in America, that's a big part of high school culture and youth culture. It's celebrating your high school and cheering and wearing those school colors on certain days. And so that is one thing that I find sad about German high schools, because they don't tend to have those things. Also, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, it wasn't meant to be a giant roast of German high school. It was just me sharing some of the few things that I do dislike. If there's anything that you think I said wrong or that doesn't apply to the majority of high schools or gymnasiums, you know what I mean when I say high school, then feel free to comment that down below and I'll read the comments. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers!